Hey, how's it going? Today I'm going to be talking about Blackstone and what that company is. For a very long time, I thought it's one and the same company, BlackRock and Blackstone. Both of these companies doing very similar things, but there are some differences. I know a lot of things about Blackstone, about this company. I don't know that much about BlackRock and what they do. I have done a lot of research on Blackstone in my personal life and trying to understand how to invest money, how to allocate capital, a lot of ways how to think about structuring different problems and everything and similar things. Either way, I'm going to be covering everything within this video, but either way, Blackstone, I'm aware about this company and I do not know that much about the BlackRock. Blackstone is a global private equity and financial service firm. It's one of the largest and most prominent private equity firms in the world. Blackstone was founded in 1985 by Stefan A. Schwarzman and Peter G. Peterson. The company is headquartered in New York City. Uh, Private equity is one of the Blackstone's core business. Most likely, as investing companies, they might have a lot of access to a lot of capital, and when they do have a lot of access to not necessarily their own capital, perhaps investors' capital, they might be looking for different ways how to allocate that capital would objective to increase that capital. So, in particular, private equity. So that would be perhaps the main core values or way of thinking about business and how to increase value to not necessarily just their own capital but investors as well. Where they invest in private companies, help restructure and improve their operations, and then seek to sell them on a profit. They are also known for their significant investments in the real estate or property owning and managing various properties and real estate related assets worldwide. Myself, I do know how to manage different companies just based on my expertise, right? So perhaps taking over management of the different companies, restructure those companies, and perhaps in and out of the company, right? And pocketing the difference. That's one of the strategies of that. So even now, I might not be that happy about or coming from a background of where you need to build your business, learn those lessons, right, and do your due diligence, take it slow, build it from the ground up. So that's overall my personal understanding, but I understand the strategy, right? So it's not necessary I need to limit myself to that particular strategy. Where if you find yourself in a situation, right, where you need to move, or you can, based on your expertise, knowledge, you might be able to manage a number of different projects, right? And you think that some of the projects out there can be managed better compared to how they are currently being managed. By doing that, you can increase company's profits. Once you increase it, if you can do a quick turnaround, right? Come in, restructure the company, perhaps management staff, some of the systems that you can implement. Perhaps I'm going to be addressing those within this channel for people who are interested. How to perhaps structure companies based on what your goals might be. If it's something that you are interested in, perhaps most of the people might would like to take a back seat, not necessarily actually go in and do it themselves. But either way. So how to do it, right? And if you were, even right now, let's say if I had to put everything into perspective, right? Company Tata have acquired, Tata is an Indian company. I don't know if that matters or not, but they're based in India and they have acquired tea manufacturing company in in England and UK, right? And they have restructured that company by doing that to increase company's profits by 10%, right? Since they did it, they increased profits by 10%. This is information that I managed to find. I don't know how accurate that information is. Once they acquired, within first year, they increased potentially by 10%. So even by doing that, they because they knew perhaps supply chain, they perhaps knew better management strategies, whichever way the strategy they have taken. By doing that, there's a lot of value within that. So either they can hold on onto this project, or they can let go of this project and pocket the difference. So depending on the strategies that people like to apply, try, perhaps if it's something that they want to do, there's a lot of opportunities out there, if anything. Leadership. Blackstone was founded by Stephen A. Schwarzman and Peter G. Peterson. For people who are interested, I would highly recommend to take a look at both of these people and some of the information that you can find online. I have done a little bit of research yesterday. There is a lot of information for people who are interested in finding out more about the people mentioned before. In particular, I have done a lot of research on Stefan. So whoever is interested when it comes to decision making, if anything, you can learn a lot from him. Private equity. Blackstone's private equity division is one of the largest and most active in the world. They invest in a wide range of industries, including technology, healthcare, real estate or property, and consumer goods. They typically acquire companies, work on improving their performance, and then sell them or take them to the public to realize gains. If we can add anything to the company, so there's value add projects they might be interested in. It's kind of interesting working with a business partner and how you need to find a really good business partner that could potentially would complement your shortcomings, right? So, so if anything, I might be interested in finding out more, and perhaps it's worth covering that with later videos about business partner and perhaps some of the shortcomings. One should work on those, but if you would have anyone, perhaps with, if anything, legal since it would be based on different territories and legal frameworks when operating business, and that would be very important, especially as some of those areas that you don't want to get in trouble with would be new rising technologies like a blockchain. So if someone can cover that as well as accounting, perfect. Leave me a message in the comment. I would definitely be interested in someone who can stay on top of those things, if anything. So just not get me or anybody else in trouble if someone can cover those areas. So I'm looking for a business partner, right? Real estate or property market. Blackstone's real estate arm, known as Blackstone Real Estate, is one of the world's largest real estate investment managers. They own and manage diverse portfolios of real estate assets or property assets, including offices and buildings. Which not this particular market is not right now not doing that well. Perhaps there's a chance of restructuring this market, and perhaps I don't know. I don't know. It's very abstract code, right? Depending on territory where you're living, there might be a code that was giving. The same it comes within UK. Since we're talking about real estate, right? If you were to restructure that from office building into living building, perhaps there's a lot of code and everything that I don't understand that well yet. But it's something that I'm interested in. There's a lot of attention and there's a lot of value within this sector. Residential properties, hotels, and more. That's overall is something that they are doing. But perhaps it's a good place to invest your capital if you like to protect it. But I don't know. Again, consult with your legal professional. This video is just for entertainment and educational purposes. Hedge funds. Blackstone also operates their own hedge funds as well as they do invest in other hedge funds, providing alternative investment options to its clients. So there's potentially there depending on the projects, right? So if they have access to different projects, Sometimes, depending on what hedge fund you operate, you might yourself, if you were up there, if you might be able to find your own projects or perhaps other people's projects. So that's for as long as everyone wins. So why not, right? Credit. Blackstone's credit division focuses on various credit strategies, including distress debt, mezzanine lending, and direct lending. So there's a credit division right there. Quick information. Yesterday I was looking a lot at different blockchain projects and how they got started. What was the core values about how some of the blockchain projects got started and what's the reason why they got started in the first place. Blockchain projects were started with the idea of removing middlemen, so that's the core reason of core values of the projects, how they got started. But all of a sudden, everyone's comparing blockchain projects to traditional banking systems, and they would say, "Oh, we need customer support." If you need customer support, you can go to traditional banking systems. Why you compare pears to apples? It's completely different thing. So people are trying to understand it, and they're trying to compare, perhaps to share some information with the people out there. If anything, I would like to share information as well, right? So if you, for those who don't understand current banking system, perhaps, so some of the reasons and the way how they're operating right now and where things are right now, some of the people they are trying to introduce a completely new way of doing things, right? So, and slowly, banking systems try to creep in, take over those blockchain projects. So, people who perhaps need to raise more awareness. Idea behind some of the blockchain projects, not necessarily all of those, but some of the ideas of that. You, for you to act as a banking system yourself, without having a middle person who would charge you fees for overseeing some of the operations. So if you want someone to charge you fee for overseeing some of the operations, feel free to reach out to me. I'm there to support your business, advise you, and guide you through the process, and I will charge you some of the fees. Blockchains projects, some of the projects are there, not necessarily all of them, just because the banking systems keep creeping in. Uh, idea behind those blockchain projects without operating without middle man. So it's completely a different thing. Advisory services. The firm provides financial advisory and restructuring services to companies in need of strategic advice and assistance. Global presence. Blackstone has significant global presence with offices and investments around the world. They operate in North America, Europe, Asia, and other regions. There was something I think I saw in the news about some of the protests happening in France, but I don't know if that has anything to do with it. Investor, don't sue me. In the investor base. Blackstone primarily manages funds on behalf of institutional investors such as pension funds, sovereign wealth funds, and endowments. They also have products and services designed for individual investors. Again, perhaps it would be depending on how much capital they or you have access to, and you would like to perhaps give it to other company to manage. So that perhaps would be determined by doing that. Philanthropy. Stefan Schwarzman, one of the co-founders, have been known for his philanthropy efforts, including substantial donations to educational institutions. If anything, I know little bit information about this person, so I don't know that much. But if anything, perhaps I would highly recommend to do your own research and understand about some of the work that was completed up there, as well as if you are planning of investing in the future, doing research on some of the people out there. For people who are interested in finding out more and developing themselves, I have published a course. You can find a lot of information within this course. It's how to improve yourself, how to become better. I have done a lot of research myself, as well as I'm looking to share that information with others. Within the course, I'm covering all the fundamentals for people out there who are looking to improve themselves, to become better, more efficient, more effective, perform better. I'm covering all fundamentals, which I personally believe are important, something that haven't been taught in school, so not necessarily everyone knows about those fundamentals. I have done a lot of research to understand myself, and I'm looking to share that information with others. I have published with a number of different formats, including PDF, video files, as well as if you need further support, I can guide you through the process. Feel free to reach out to me. For anyone who are interested in Blackstone, I would highly recommend to do your own research in different subjects, including perhaps leadership, investment, and different activities, or perhaps visit company's website to understand a little bit more. If anything, I would highly recommend to do some research with the founders of the company. In particular, Stefan Schwarzman. I have read his book, perhaps something I'll be covering later on, and there was a lot of value that helped me to understand a lot of things about decision making, if anything. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.